Well, President Trump's pro-military message has been at the forefront of his national security agenda, from bolstering troops to advocating for veteran health care reform. He's made the military a top priority. So how is the president's message being received by those who have served? Joining us now is our all-star veteran panel, Dr. Darren Porcher, Kathy Barnette, and Kieran Lawler. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
So, Kathy, I will start with you. Okay. What do you think about the job the president's doing?
Let me tell you, there is nothing more pro-American than or pro-military than a president who will defend what so many of us would have readily laid down our lives for, and that is the security of our nation. I had the opportunity with Black Women Walking, Moms for America, and Liberty Rising to go visit our southern border wall and to walk and talk to the moms who are living there. And let me tell you, my life is forever changed by doing that. I know we have the Jim Acostas of the world who want to haggle over vocabulary, whether immigrant or invasion, caravan or invasion, but I was talking to mom who literally sleep with AR-15s next to them every day. The threat for them, who are the first line of defense, is real. I also talked to some of the military personnel that President Trump has already sent down there. And when I asked them, what do you think? They said, this is where we belong. And I say, if we can send troops to secure the border walls of South Korea, we should be able to do the same thing here in our nation. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no better thank you that this president can give to me than to protect what I would have laid my life down for.
Kieran, what about you?
You know, I think if you look at the historic pay increase that occurred earlier this year, great for military families. If you look at the fact that the sequester ended, so we have more money going into the military budget, it means better equipment. It not only makes us more effective as a military, but it has to help morale to be in a new vehicle, to have new gear. And, you know, if you look at the people around the president, a lot of key advisors have great military backgrounds. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, West Point graduate, Army officer, of course, General Mattis and General Kelly. So that makes me feel good as a veteran. If I was on active duty, it would make me feel good that somebody who has walked in my shoes has the ear of the president.
Yeah, that makes a lot of people feel good and feel better when he puts people like that in those positions. Dr. Porcher?
Well, I mean, I can't say enough. We have to look at what happened over the Obama years, the 8 years that he was in office. Military spending has been decimated as a result of that. So moving forward, what we see is greater logistics and more pay going to military members. And this is a very important incentive, not just for standing military members, but people that are looking to join. In addition to that, I think President Trump has laid out an agenda for civilian contractors to hire prior military people as well as civilian organizations to allow things like veterans points and a preference in becoming employed by these organizations moving forward. So when we look at the grand scheme of things, Trump has done a phenomenal job for veterans, and he stood by their side from the context of moving forward and infusing back into society. And I salute the president for his agenda.
And speaking of jobs, veteran unemployment is improving. What, 2.9% in 2018, it was 3.7% in 2017, 4.3% in 2016. So that's good news for veterans.
It is, right? Listen, a rising tide lifts all boats. So as our economy improves, of course, we should expect to see the veteran situation to improve. We have over 600,000 manufacturing jobs coming back to our nation thanks to our president. We have the lowest unemployment thanks to our president. We see him working feverishly to stymie the flow of drugs across the board. That's going to help a number of veterans who may have the thought to self-medicate some of their pain. And then also we have him working feverishly to correct so many of the ills that we've seen in the VA hospital. So,
so it's all interconnected, really.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. There are some issues, things we need to work on. You know, a lot of our returning vets suffer from PTSD, and what happens is, in some cases, they're suffering. They don't want to go to the VA and get their PTSD treated because they don't want to prevent a future employment opportunity because of something in their health record book.
Interesting. Okay.
A lot of military people come back and want to be in law enforcement, but you don't want to have a long PTSD history in your record book because it could hurt you from getting that job. So that's something we really need to grapple with. It's a complicated issue. One thing I've seen a great success on is veterans becoming entrepreneurs. There are good programs help veterans learn the nuts and bolts of putting together a business, growing a business. greater awareness of those programs would allow more veterans to benefit from them. And when a veteran owns a company, you see more veterans getting hired. So there's a real force multiplier.
Good for everyone. Dr. Porcher, you get the final word here.
Well, we look at the 3% growth in GDP. It's having a phenomenal effect on not just military members, but us as a country as a whole. And the military members are able to capitalize on this moving forward. And it goes back to the president's agenda. It's not just the military, but just putting America first. And he's clearly demonstrating that model. And we have been reaping the benefits of his success.
All right. You just brought it full circle for us, Dr. Porcher, because we were talking about the America First policy earlier. Thank you both. Thank you all three for joining us. And, of course, thank you for your service on this Veterans Day. Thank you.